Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are back kicking it stateside, boys, after a nice 2-week hiatus here.
Finally, man, yeah.
Kind of, the games were coming kind of fast and furious, as we were saying. I think each team played probably like 6 games in that like 3-week span, and mixing in FA Cup now this week, it's kind of like a nice little break to have everybody like kind of take all of it in. And
yeah, we're going to get back to some normalcy.
Yeah,
Carabao
finally.
Cup's kind of winding down now. We're going to get a final 2 in that. We got one of them just now, right before the show started.
Yep.
And back to a normal Prem schedule and ready for a big second half and see if there's going to be any crazy surprises.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this show's kind of a special one because we'll kind of go back and kind of recap the first half and, any shocking, surprises that happened, any the bigger moments that went down, kind of look at the table, maybe make some predictions on maybe Golden Boot race and who do you think will win Coach of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. I have some candidates that I think, at least so far, I guess, have been.
I got a few myself. I think we'll probably be
for that.
Similar on a few, maybe different on a couple. But
Yeah, just kind of looking back and seeing, since we're pretty much halfway through here, we're up to week 22 is coming up. This Friday, I guess, kicks off some of the games. There's one. I think there's Sheffield and West Ham will kick us off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, halfway through. Again, then we'll kind of look on what's coming up this weekend. Like I said, week 22 with, Spurs hosting Liverpool as the marquee game.
As the marquee game, although Spurs have not looked the part of recent.
Not really. As they started strong under Mourinho, and now kind of Harry Kane gets hurt.
Yeah, that's killer.
He's out until I think they said March. He's not going to play. So I guess
Sonny had that 3-game suspension.
That hurt
him big time.
So, and also with those two kind of, I had the poll question kind of thrown towards the Spurs fans and everybody else, kind of seeing, can, Tottenham will be successful without Harry Kane. Agree or disagree? I'd like to see what everyone has to say. Can they, without their top striker, can they be the same Spurs team that are chasing, Chelsea for 4th? Or are they going to slip down the table in the Mourinho, that love kind of relationship, as he always does, kind of,
dies quickly.
Very quickly. So, and also the YouTube with the success, we haven't really talked about it, Nigel Pearson at Watford.
We haven't got a chance to.
Right.
I mean, I wish we could have, because they've all of a sudden turned it around.
They have won their last 3 or 4 games.
He's
here.
doing what Nigel Pearson apparently does.
We were saying, Watford were in the basement. We're like, they might as well go down to the championship already. And all of a sudden, it's like a new team.
It only took 4 coaches in one season. And
I was going to say, yeah.
I guess they were fortunate enough. There was a few other teams that were kind of just not that much better than them.
Yeah.
And they've been able to stay in there. Now they're getting safe.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, you get 1 of 4, I guess. You're bound to hit on one of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to get the boys to play, and it seems like this guy has really
done
got
so.
it.
Yes.
So we kind of posed the YouTube question. Nigel Pearson will take Watford out of relegation. Agree or disagree? Obviously, when you win 3 games in the bottom, with the way the table is kind of like set up right now,
9 points in 4 games,
pretty good.
Is huge, especially for a team that had 8 through 15 or something like that. So yeah, that's big time for them.
It's been tough.
Yeah,
it's been very tough.
Yeah, well, they're back in it. They are back in it.
But yeah, we can. I
It's
guess
because he plays my boy Troy Deeney. That's why.
Well, Troy has kind of like a resurgence under him, I think.
He really has. He
Been-
got at him. Got him going.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can kind of look, maybe look at the table. I guess I know in the bottom, the fact that Bournemouth has been, your boys have been struggling. I know we talked about this before our last show, but oh man,
Yeah.
they're not looking so hot.
Dude, they're in big trouble. It's making it, I guess, easier to kind of go back and give Arteta a chance now with Arsenal, because I'm just like, I don't know. There's enough talent there. Like, we talked about it a lot, and I don't know if it's just they're Bournemouth being Bournemouth and they're going to go on one of those like 4 or 5 game runs where they pick up like 9-10 points in that time and get right back in it, or if it's as bad as it looks right now, because it's bad. Especially with Ake like still banged up, and they
that was a big.
They had no
loss
defense
for them.
with him, and now losing him, it was a killer. They can't score.
They cannot score. Nobody.
Callum Wilson
can put the
forgot how
ball
to
in the net.
score. Josh King forgot how to score. Harry Wilson, I guess, can't do it all. And
Yeah, I mean their last scoring's been Dan Gosling.
yeah,
I
really,
think they've been shut out the past at least 2.
yeah. 2 of their like last 2 goals were from Dan Gosling.
And now they are sitting in relegation.
Yeah, they had a decent FA Cup game. I guess that could be the only promising thing.
Who the hell they
didn't
killed?
play? They didn't play anybody, but
They beat, I think, a League One side. I forget who it was.
I guess that's all you can take out of it. But yeah,
maybe that's like a little confidence boost, I guess.
could be.
See the ball go in the back of the net because it's not looking good.
Nah, they're in trouble right now.
But, I mean, you look at that bottom, and, Villa's been struggling. Bournemouth's been struggling. Villa's sitting right outside that relegation.
Is it safe to say Norwich is not going to survive?
I don't think they're going to survive.
I hate to say it because we were so pumped up in the beginning of the year and the legend of Pookie, and I mean, but it's just I don't see where it's going to come from, and they're sitting last, and it's just running out of time.
Yeah, it's
We got 17 left.
17 left, and they are they're 5 points from the bottom.
Yeah, they're done.
And
they're toast.
They have 3 wins all season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
I mean, and the fact is, they get
They
get scoring here and there from Pookie and Cantwell. I saw there's a rumor that he's getting looked at by United, possibly getting him in the summertime, which would be great.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he cannot play the championship next year. He needs to play on a Prem League side because he's young.
Well,
Unlike Pookie, I mean, he's a little older.
Yeah,
long in the
Pookie
tooth,
still might get
but
a look, too, from a Prem team that needs a second striker or something like that. But we talked about that it's even though some of these teams might not survive, it can be good for some of these players.
Right.
Because these guys now get eyeballs on them at a bigger level, at a higher stage. I mean, they went out and they beat Man City this year.
Right.
And guys like Cantwell were a big part of that. So no wonder he's going to get some eyeball. And it could be great for his career. So got to find, I guess, a positive here and there. They'll get a little bit of money as they get booted back down.
Yeah, because once you get, relegated, you're losing a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough to keep some of these guys because Cantwell, he's such a good young player. And he's definitely proven himself that he can play in the league. It's just, you're not going to be able to – why would he want to stay?
Right.
Why would he want to play championship ball when he knows he can compete?
At that level.
At this level.
Yeah, he's proven it, definitely.
And, I mean, that was one of I think, the most shocking moments of the first half was when Norwich beat City.
Oh, absolutely.
That
one
was
of
in
their
top 3
5
wins was against, a pretty good Man City team. This was what? This was earlier in the year.
Yeah, it was very early when it was like before City looked like how City's kind of look now, where they've been exposed a little bit.
This was the Laporte still on playing. He's training now, I saw.
Well, that's going to be big for them. But I think it's too late at least in this league.
Yeah.
They're going to need him in Champions League going down the stretch. But they're just Liverpool's just running away. Yeah.
I mean, we can kind of talk about that. I
Eric
guess.
was texting me while I was down in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
What
About
is-
how much he loves his team. Yes, Eric, I know. You
yes,
do.
all the Reds out there, I'm sure, going crazy right now, thinking that
Yeah, this is one they're not choking.
the
man.
league is
They're-
pretty much theirs at this point.
I would be absolutely astonished if that league somehow got lost.
That might be the most epic collapse in history.
Yeah.
Because right now Liverpool's on top of the league by 13, and they have a game in hand.
Yes. And they're completely healthy.
Yeah.
Like there's
And they're only getting better
completely healthy
with the signing of Minamino.
Yeah. How'd that work out? He had a pretty decent little debut the other day in what was it, the FA Cup game?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it's just
The rich get richer.
rich get richer,
Yeah, we talk about
absolutely.
it all the time. We talk about it. It's ridiculous. I'm actually pumped, man. I'm pumped for this transfer window coming up here. And like MLS starting back up again. There's a lot of good stuff going on in this game.
yeah, absolutely. It's just I think that when you go, I guess if we go maybe to the top 4, with Leicester playing really well this year, and still they're 13 points back, and Chelsea's been struggling, and they're still 5 points clear of 4th.
Right.
Like, I don't know what that says about the league, whether it's just watered down this year or just the top 4 and then it's just a huge a huge drop off. I don't know.
There's been a lot. It seems like, and I mean, I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and really dig into the stat. But
Chelsea's not a 4th place team.
I get.
They've been struggling pretty bad.
It seems like there's a little bit more parity in the league. Like Wolves have beaten City twice now this year. City's lost to Norwich. I mean, albeit Arsenal's been horrible, and they're tying Watford and Southampton and losing to Bournemouth. And so it's like the teams that should be excelling against the bad teams are not, except for Liverpool and pretty much Leicester. You can't even say City, and you can't really even say Chelsea because Chelsea's poor performance against West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been great, but you're right. They're not a 4th place team.
No.
But
any other season, there's no way that – because I think they've won 2 in their last 7.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle.
Yeah, but everybody else is struggling.
True.
Spurs, all of a sudden, they get hot, and then boom, they're on a slowdown. Wolves can beat the best, and then, they don't show up in certain games.
Yeah, they lost to Watford here recently.
Yeah, these schedules are just grueling, and I
Oh
think
my
that's
God,
what
this
it
past,
is.
The past month really has just been insane. I don't know how. I understand they're trying to squeeze in all these games.
Yeah.
But like I said in the beginning, you're playing 6 games in the 3-week span.
Yeah.
Plus throwing an FA Cup game this past weekend.
Well, that's why I have to come now, and we're not, we'll get more into it when we get to that part of the show, but I know we're going to talk about Coach of the Year. And one guy you, I, and no one else really says, I guess because just the talent that's there and all that, but, you got to give Klopp a lot of credit.
Oh, of course.
Because you're balancing multiple lineups, and he's still finding ways not only to win here, but in lots of other cups.
Yeah, I mean, the FA Cup, they got the game winner from, not academy kid, but basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only one they really threw away was the one where they played the U23 team and kind of threw because, I mean, how
Carabao
many can
Cup,
you really?
what do you want to be in? You want to be in 4 competitions?
Yeah, and they won the World Cup of
the Club World
Cup.
Cup.
World Cup. So it's just trophy after trophy with lineup after lineup. It really doesn't matter. And then when you get the main lineup, they're held. He just always finds a way to get the best out of everybody.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback and tie up what you just said, I saw there was a quote from Lewandowski. I guess they interviewed him about the success of Liverpool and what the effect Klopp has had over with the team since he's taken over. And he was like, when I went to Dortmund, I was a young kid and I didn't know he was a one-trick pony basically, and Klopp basically taught him. How to be a professional, and he was saying that, he's not technically obviously his dad, but he basically was that kind of role and that father figure, being a young kid away from home, he kind of was that guy to him, and he was like, I would, run through a wall for him because he just gets
And you can
most out
tell
of people.
all these guys,
Yeah.
the way they come out and they play, you don't ever really see any of them take like a playoff. Like,
Yeah.
and even the top guys, Mane, Firmino, like they're always hustling. They're always trying to better themselves and better the team, and it's never like
for sure.
that lazy game.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll kind of, touch base on those guys when, obviously, I think when we talk about, who you think maybe MVP of the league is so far. And,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Golden Boot race and whatnot, but I mean, I'm just kind of looking at the table. We talked a little bit about the bottom. I mean, mid-table, it's like you see like Wolves and Sheffield. The Sheffield still, I think they're probably,
biggest surprise.
they're the biggest surprise I think so far. They're drawing a lot, which is I guess good for them.
Yeah, you take that when you're a team, especially in their situation and how they not only came up, but they didn't add at all. We talk like they came up with the team that they won with in the championship, and they've thrown them out there, and
they've produced though. I mean,
oh yeah, they're pretty much they're a few weeks away from you can pretty much 100%, no doubt. I mean, I forget a few weeks away. You can 100% no doubt they're staying up.
Oh yeah,
it's just a matter now. Are they like a top 10 team? Or do they finish strong, and can they finish in that top 10?
Yeah.
But they're not going anywhere. They're going to be here. They're going to have an opportunity to add.
I think if they just they've hit a tough – they played City, Liverpool back-to-back.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully when they get those two out of the way and, look forward to maybe an easier schedule going forward and getting maybe more wins than draws because obviously they're right there with the draw kings. I think they have 8 on the season. Yeah. So it's like Wolves, Arsenal, obviously, are neck and neck for the draw
The
kings.
Queens. Arsenal is the Queens.
And then you got Sheffield right there that just, they get a lot of draws. I mean, 1-1s, 0-0s. But, yeah, I think as far as Sheffield and the Wolves going forward, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're both in good shape.
Yeah.
Definitely in good shape. It just depends on what kind of moves happen. Like, do they lose? Do they add? Like, if Wolves –
I think Wolves
is going to lose at some point. They're going to lose Jimenez.
Yeah, probably in the summer.
It's bound to happen. It's probably after this season's completed.
I didn't know he was already 29 though. That takes a little bit,
Yeah, he's not
off him.
Yeah, he's not a kid, but he's definitely resurrected his career.
Oh, he's a great goal scorer. I mean, Traore, now that, he's kind of had his coming out party this year, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I forget who tweeted. I got to find it, but they basically called him Derrick Henry.
Did somebody just say yeah.
They straight
I don't know
up.
I don't know if this was true, but they said that a few years ago, they asked a couple NFL teams asked him if this guy would try out for their team.
Dude,
because he is jacked and he's fast
with his speed. Like if you could put him as like a for Philly's sake, Boston Scott type guy. If he had some hands, you don't know if he has hands because he plays the game with his feet. But the way the kid's jacked, he's
and
absolutely jacked.
The funniest thing, they're like, "Oh, do you lift weights? Are you on like a strict like weight regimen?" And he was like, "No, this is all just hereditary." I'm like, "Okay." And at Barcelona, like 4 or 5 years ago, he was a stick figure.
Yeah.
When he made his debut.
Yeah, he's doing.
At 18, I'm like, "Okay, you don't lift weights, my ass."
He's doing something. He's definitely doing something. But he's a monster. Like, and he gets pushed around. Like teams are hip to him now, and they go hard to him.
Well, that's the only way to like stop him.
Yeah,
it should just foul him,
and it still doesn't.
They can't keep up with him.
Like that one game, what was a couple games ago, where he basically separated his shoulder and he just kept playing. Like he's a beast. He's one of my new favorite players that's not on my team around the league.
Yeah, and
he's definitely dope.
He is. This was his coming out party, like hands down.
Yeah, he might even get a look on the Spain national team with play like this.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I mean,
he's young
why
too.
not?
I think he's 22, 23. He's on the younger side.
Yeah, because he made his debut at Barcelona maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Damn, I can't find the tweet right now. I'll try and find it later. But it was funny as hell. They were basically just saying he could.
I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he has the speed down that wing. He just flies. And this year, I think he kind of got the technical side. I think he was all just
pure speed before,
pure speed, and he's got a little bit of that technical side.
He's got some ball control. Definitely has some ball control.
But again, that goes back to Espirito Santo.
Yeah, great coach.
Good coach.
Great coach. And putting him in the right position and giving him the confidence and allowing him to just be free.
Yeah.
Like some of those shots he's made this year, too. Like, they were absolute howlers. Like, ridiculous. And without the confidence of your coach allowing you to do so, yeah, I mean, he's come a long way, man.
Absolutely.
I'm pumped.
But I guess if you want to look at some of the like the Golden Boot race.
Okay.
Jamie Vardy obviously has 17 this year. The next guy, we got Aubameyang, who has 13. The surprise, Danny Ings has 13.
Yeah, man. He just keeps scoring.
Tammy, Marcus Rashford both have 12. Harry Kane has 11. Mane, Sterling 11. Aguero and Salah with 10.
You could pretty much count Harry out probably now.
Yeah,
with the injury. His chances are
going
to dwindle.
2 months, he's not.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time.
He's going to get surpassed, but
it got tight last year. Like right now, Jamie's commanding.
Do you see anybody catching Vardy? Is he pretty much in the driver's seat to win the Golden Boot?
You would think so right now, but the way this league's gone, I wouldn't bet my life on it, especially he is older. We know he's an absolute stud. He's a fitness junkie. He's got the pace, but doesn't catch up to him.
He drinks 3 Red Bull, 4 espressos before the match, so I would assume.
Yeah. That was my regiment driving cross country this past week, man. We were nonstop.
Caffeine.
Yeah, man. 16 hours one day, 18 the next, just on the road.
The tank.
Yeah, absolute beast. Absolute beast. 3 kids in the minivan, just
oh man,
all the way. I took the kids. I took the kids in the van, and my ex and her husband drove the other vehicle with the trailer, and we just rode, man.
Red Bull not a sponsor yet, but
Red Bull not a sponsor yet. Red Bull not a sponsor yet. I've tried to throw them like, yo, guys, I'm a big Red Bull fan, but yeah, whoever wants to throw us some money, come on. Red Bull, Monster, it doesn't matter. Smart Water, who wants to get on board? Kicking it stateside in A2D. We need it. Bring it on.
Yes. But yeah, do you see anybody catching him? No.
No.
Unless I think it would take like a hat trick from one of those.
Maybe Aubameyang because
he can
no
score
one.
in clips.
Yeah, like no one else seems to score on Arsenal. And Lacazette's, I guess, back. I'm not saying anything yet. I'm not going to say they're back yet.
Not yet.
Where's Aguero at?
Aguero has 10.
Because he scores in clips sometimes.
Yeah.
He's a hat trick.
He's not even really playing, though.
I know. It's weird.
He likes Gabby right now.
He does. Yeah, that relationship's weird. That whole City thing. We should talk about that at some point too. It's getting kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that run is over. They made their big run last year, and there just seems to be a lot of issues right now. They can't seem to get it right consistently.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to they did not, address certain positions in the offseason, and it's coming back to hurt them.
Yeah.
They didn't find a center back replay. They thought, okay, well, Laporte, Otamendi, we can play John Stones on occasion if need be. And
that
then
hasn't worked out.
And Laporte gets hurt. Otamendi's kind of on the downside probably of his career. And Stones is, he's John Stones.
They should have convinced Company to stay.
For some depth, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think he was done, though. He pretty much went into that retirement, player-coach role.
I think he's been. I mean, he didn't even play much last year. He was kind of, again, a depth guy, but.
I don't think Ings can do it because Ings scores, but he scores he's not a hat-trick guy. He's a one-a-game guy.
One-a-game, yeah. I don't think
he'll grind him out week after week, but not enough to catch up.
Honestly, I saw that with Harry Kane getting hurt. They were like, do you think Spurs should go after Danny Ings as like a little replacement here?
Yeah, maybe. It all depends on what Mourinho wants. I don't know if he's a Mourinho-type guy.
Definitely not.
Like, he does not seem to fit the Mourinho mold of a striker.
I just thought that was interesting that somebody brought it up.
If I was in their position, I would entertain it. The guy scores. He has a nose for the net, and you can't teach that. Like, it's one of the hardest things to do in all sports is put that ball in that net, and he finds a way to do it.
I mean, he's single-handedly keeping Southampton
Yeah, he resurrected.
right now.
Yeah, like we don't even talk about them right now. Like they're safe. They're safe again. Ralph.
If there wasn't so much like other managers and other guys that are up for MVP and Coach of the Year, you would have to have Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Say it right.
Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Thank you.
On the outside looking in. But there's just too much. There's a little bit too many ahead of him for probably Coach of the Year at this point.
Yeah.
He's done good.
He's safe right now.
Yeah, it was looking a little sketch.
Yeah, it was looking real bad. But I think his job's safe. I think the team is probably going to end up being safe.
I would assume so at this point. I don't think anything crazy.
See if they do anything. They could
but again, if they sell off Danny Ings, I mean, I think they're smart enough to know that he's been putting him on their back.
The money you're going to get from Danny Ings wouldn't be
worth
the money you're going to lose if you get
You'd have to have a replacement already lined up.
Yeah, and I don't know who that is.
And
unless
if they lose
bringing
him,
somebody in,
it's like, well, then who's going to score?
Yeah, like if they have the idea where they're going to get, $15 million, $20 million for Danny Ings and bring in a $5 million scorer and try and sustain.
It's basically like, do you value staying up in the Prem, or do you value getting money for Danny Ings?
Yeah.
And how much is that? How much is he really worth?
I wonder if Zlatan's kicking himself from going to AC because maybe he would have fit in with Mourinho at Spurs.
Yeah.
That could have worked
Those
out.
two?
Do you imagine?
Butting heads the whole time? No, I don't know.
You might get some goals, though.
That's true.
Hey, Christian Bale could still be.
Gareth Bale.
Why do I always fucking call him Christian Bale.
He's a great actor.
He is. Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. He's always on somebody's radar.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever come to the Prem.
I think he's done.
He wanted to go to the China League and hide. So
I think he wants the easy way out and kind of get his the form back and get some money, and then maybe be like, hey, I'm scoring a lot of goals. Like, remember Hulk?
Yeah.
He's apparently getting linked to Prem teams that need a goal scorer now.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of what he's doing in the Chinese League?
Yes, he's just tearing it up. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah, that's what a lot of these
guys
guys.
You go in there in the prime of your career, you're probably going to do well.
Who else is there? Musa Dembele's there, right?
Yep.
Or Usman.
There's a lot of Musa Dembele's because apparently there's a Musa Dembele on Lyon that Chelsea are looking at.
Yeah, there's two. There's the Belgian one and the French one.
Right.
Which is kind of tricky sometimes, just trying to balance two guys with the same name from different countries.
Because when they leave the Prem, you're like, oh, Musa Dembele. I'm hoping they're not going after the Belgian Musa Dembele because his career is clearly he's on the other side of.
He's definitely on the other side. Iniesta's over in the Chinese League.
David Villa retired.
Yeah,
kind of going off script, but he won a championship in the.
Hate David Villa.
I
hate David Villa. That's the least that's what I don't even like his face. I hate everything about him. Going back to those Spain World Cup and
he was a beast though.
Yeah, I know.
When he was in his prime.
Yeah, I didn't want them to win that World Cup at all.
Like the Barcelona David Villa.
Oh yeah.
Where he was a fucking
monster. I mean he was.
I mean, he was really good for NYCFC.
He really was, and that adds to it. I hated him back. It's been years. This has been going on, and then for him to go to
the hatred.
Yeah, my
back.
crosstown rival.
That I understand.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we could talk about Palace.
Yeah. Palace, they got your boys this weekend.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah. Again.
I mean, Palace is the most inconsistent team probably in the league.
They have nobody in the top of anything, do they?
No.
Like going back to that,
I mean, who would you put? I mean, Zaha doesn't do shit.
But that's kind of impressive because they are, 8, 9?
They're right behind Sheffield.
And they have nobody in the top 10 of scoring, top 10 of assists.
Like Ayew and Zaha occasionally, and fucking Connor Wickham.
Yeah.
The forgotten boy.
Yeah. I saw that the other day. It popped on my phone.
What?
I was like,
Connor Wickham?
I haven't heard that name in years. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Palace needs to make a move, but they probably won't. I think they're like, we'll wait for, Zaha maybe to sell him. But if they sell him, then it's like one of those Danny Ings situations. It's like, well, does it make any sense to lose our best player in the middle of the season? Not that they're in trouble, because they'll be fine, but
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what they got away.
they just don't really get any scoring from – it's always like a random person here and there. Like Connor Wickham off the bench. Like, that's got to be the most random person to score in the whole league.
Like, if you're one of those teams and you're in that 8 to 15 range,
Yeah.
do you really care whether you're 8 or 15 if you can sell off
Probably
and
not.
get some money for some players and kind of continue to try and –
I think if you're mid-table, I think – like, if you're Palace, you're like, well, we're sure as hell not winning the league.
Right.
We just are content with, do you want to fight for a Europa League spot, I guess? That would be the next thing. I mean,
I guess so. But you'll
they're
even have the
only-
ability to qualify for that the next year, even if you don't finish in that top. Were they a couple points out?
they were only 2 points out of 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where that parity gets real tight. Like, it's 2 weeks of one team winning and one team not picking up any points from a complete shift every week now.
That 6 to 12 range is separated
it's
by
like-
3 points.
Yeah.
Arsenal's, I think, 12 or 11, and they're only 3 points back of 6.
It's so hard to keep up with, like, as it's going.
Because now Arsenal can go on a run, and all of a sudden they can get back right there, too.
They could. They could break into that top 6 with a hot little run.
And they look good against United.
They did.
They looked like a new team. I don't even know what team. I text Zach. I'm like, what Arsenal team was that? Because that was actually enjoyable to watch.
David Luiz looked like he
They
was
were
like
everywhere.
25 again.
Dude, him and Papa were like, what is this? I haven't seen Papa play that well since his Dortmund days.
Well, we say it all the time in every sport, especially this
Manager
one.
bump.
Manager bump. And you see all the coaching carousels that's been happening this year, and you get a guy like Arteta who's been with the club, who's been around a winning culture with City, who's been under Pep. And I think he finally got all these guys together. The first week or so was a little rough, trying to probably weed a few things out.
Right.
But now, and the schedule was crazy, but now I think he can really hone in and say, all right, here's my guys. Let's do this. They're going to have to add some pieces too, without a doubt, if they want to be competitive.
Absolutely.
Because some of these guys have filled in admirably, but they're not like Maitland-Niles is a makeshift right back. Saka has been a makeshift left back. Like,
it's a lot of young dudes.
Yeah.
Like your Joe Willocks of the world. And
right, which is, I guess, a good thing. That's a positive thing when you have a bunch of 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And I guess if you can get a guy who's going to put them in the right position.
Are you bringing back Eddie Nketiah?
Yes.
I heard
Yes.
Zach said he's coming back on loan early
Yeah, that's
from Leeds.
Basically, they've pretty much determined. I mean, he's been a part of it, but I think at this point, Leeds is pretty much one of the front runners to come up.
I think they're going to win it.
And Arsenal could definitely use his help. So, yes, he just had his big goodbye the other day. There was a whole bunch of tweets kind of saying thank you for his time there.
Because Leeds played Arsenal in the FA Cup on Monday, right?
Yeah,
or yesterday?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been allowed to participate
Right.
in that regardless.
Because he's cup tied.
Yes.
For all you people that don't know, you can't play. If you get loaned out to a team and you play them, you cannot play
Yes.
against your
Even if you're sold sometimes within
parent
a certain
club.
amount of time.
If you played for that team, like
Yeah. Well, Aubameyang, when we had to play Dortmund, he wasn't allowed
he
to play
wasn't allowed
against
to.
Dortmund because it was too fresh within that tournament. He had already played a game for Dortmund in the same tournament.
right.
So once you play a game for a team in that tournament,
You're basically
you can't play
cup-tied,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah, same thing
Yeah.
essentially.
But yeah, it's people were praising. I didn't get to watch the game, but people were praising Leeds and saying that they look like they can compete in the Prem.
Yeah, I mean, just from my little time with trying to build them up in FIFA as my
Good old Paddy Bamford, the old Chelsea guy.
yeah, they should be up.
It was exciting.
It's looking like them. Who? West Brom.
Leeds and West Brom are, I think, 1-2, and they have a decent lead.
Yeah, Nottingham's going to be in the mix.
I think 3 through whatever 7 or 8 are close, but I think Leeds I think is going to win, and then West Brom is at least 6 points clear, maybe.
Yeah,
And then the rest is
everybody can keep their eyes peeled.
Derby and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest played Chelsea and they rested. Nottingham rested like all their players because I think they have a priority of winning, like getting into the playoff
Yeah.
and getting promoted.
Oh, yeah, those teams at that point, when you're going up against a big club like that, it's almost not even worth it. You gotta focus on getting brought up.
Because, like, yeah, you beat Chelsea, but then you're just going to draw probably, somebody else. And then it's just
yeah.
It's tough for
Now
those
you're burning,
lower teams.
Yeah, you're burning guys out, and you're not getting them when you need them.
Exactly. But, yeah, it's the FA Cup it's fun. There wasn't any upsets, really. I think Aston Villa might have lost.
Yeah.
And Watford blew a 3-0 lead and tied Tranmere Rovers, which is a League One side, I think. But other than that, it was nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I think Villa's going to try and throw everything they have at this Carabao Cup and hope that tomorrow they can beat Leicester. I don't know what Leicester team we're going to see. If they've pretty much conceded that they know they're going to get a top 4 now and they're not going to chase Liverpool, they might throw all the boys out there because they could easily win this tournament. They can go on and beat
I would
City.
say they're going to make some I think Vardy's – I think he picked up a knock, so he's probably not going to play.
Yeah.
I would say you'd probably see a little bit of a rotation. Maybe not Madison, maybe not Tielemans.
Inacho.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because, again, they could throw probably that – make a few changes and probably still win. Because Villa's going to go – they're going to probably throw maybe –
Oh, they're going full blast, I think.
maybe a couple, but I think they're going to just go for it.
Yeah.
Because, it depends. I mean,
Well,
they're so low in the table that if you burn out these guys with this 2-leg, cup tie,
yeah,
and you start losing Prem games, you're going to be on the way down. You're going to be relegated in pretty quick here.
would it be worth
Do you want to win a trophy?
Would
I
it be
guess?
worth winning the Carabao Cup and getting relegated?
If I'm them, my priority is the Prem.
Staying up.
If I'm Dean
it's
Smith,
gotta
I'm
be,
like,
right?
I
Yeah.
want to stay up.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Like, we can beat Leicester, but then you still have to play probably City.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, City won today again, 3-1 final, so City's in the final. Whoever
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Final Four. This was Final Four.
I thought the
Or are they
semis
two-legs?
were 2-legger.
Are they two? Yeah, that's right. They are 2-leggers, but I don't think City's probably.
3-1.
Yeah, I don't think they're giving up.
No. So basically,
Most like 90% chance if you do get through this, you're playing City.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm not the manager.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. People don't realize how difficult this sport is as manager to balance because you're not just playing one season. You're playing 4 seasons usually within a season with the tournaments, the cups, your main season.
Yeah, you got the Prem, you got the Carabao, you got the FA Cup.
Yeah, and then either
And
Europa or Champions League. And even most of these teams at least have a chance to qualify for Europa. At some point, they're playing a few games early in the year.
Yeah, the winner of the FA Cup gets a Europa League spot.
Yeah,
But we're still ways away in that.
we are.
What else? I kind of wanted to look at what are the stats?
Yeah, back
Oh,
to
the
stats.
assists.
The assists.
De Bruyne has 12.
Yeah, no one's.
The next person is Alexander Arnold, who has 8.
Yeah.
I think
Bruyne's
he's
got
probably
that
just going to
lock.
lock that up.
Yeah, because
He has the most through balls, too,
yeah, he can pull.
in a dangerous to have a dangerous scoring chance.
He could pull 2 a game at any moment.
But, and then.
He's been scoring a little more, too.
Yeah, he has, I think, 6.
Yeah.
And
he's,
then.
he's very underrated. Like, you just don't hear about him still.
No.
Like, no one talks about him. He's kind of quiet.
He does his business on.
Yeah.
He lets his play do the talking, I think. That's kind
Definitely
of
the
why.
best setup man in the league, without a doubt.
I think he's a quiet
Without a
diva, though, because all Belgians are divas.
Oh, he's definitely a diva. You can, when he does do something, he has that little, like, snide look to him.
They got
like,
that swag.
Yeah.
But even, like, Buendia, he's not even mentioned, and he has 7 assists.
He does. He's another guy that probably gets a look from somewhere else because he's
Because
young.
you haven't really heard his name. Like, in the beginning, we were talking about him,
Yeah.
and
Well, I think
ever since, like, the first month, we haven't really mentioned him.
I feel like 5 of those assists were in the first month.
It's true. I think he had 2 in one game.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like leveled off, and no one's really climbing that.
No. Sonny has 7.
Yeah.
And then Daniel James, Raul Jimenez, Mane, Robertson, Mahrez, and João Moutinho have 6.
Sonny's having quite the year.
Yeah.
7 assists.
He doesn't have the goals, but
He scores a decent amount.
he's also missed.
He destroyed a guy's leg. He
He's
kicked a
missed
guy in the gut
6
with cleats.
He's missed 6.
Yeah, like he's just having that year. He got didn't he like
He missed 6 or 5. No.
he didn't have to go in the Korean Army because he won a certain game for the national team. Like
And then he got suspended for something in the first 3 games of the season.
yeah.
He's missed 6 games
Yeah, dude, it's been like
because of suspension this
yeah.
year.
Well, he did get out of the Gomez suspension. It could have been more then.
Oh, yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, he got shortened because of that. But
Still,
yeah,
he's been just. It's tough. He just has that. I think the wires cross sometimes for him, and he just goes like ape shit.
he does, and then he like. It's like he killed somebody. Like his reaction afterwards.
He gets so sad. His wires cross.
When the red comes out, he's like, "What did I do?" Like,
The wires cross, man.
Yeah,
He's just like he
up.
sees red and just like goes nuts.
yeah, he definitely tried to kick him in the gut with the cleat too. There was no denying that.
Yeah.
That was not accidental.
No.
Like,
Anytime you like
that was
put your foot
extra
up,
extent. Yeah,
no, you can't argue that.
No. Who else is in that?
I guess
Nick?
for as far as goalies, Casper has 8 clean sheets.
Yeah. That's got a big credit to, and we'll get to that, is coaching and the defense. Because a goalie it can make a big difference in clean sheets, but they usually give clean sheets basically to the goalie and the defense because without them.
Granted, I mean, it does matter, I guess. I mean,
For
you
them
can
to,
have a shutout, but if your team wins, I guess it doesn't matter.
right, but
like
for them to get rid of Maguire, which was
Yeah.
the most highly touted defender pretty much to move in the Prem.
And he's looked a little sketchy, too,
He
recently.
has. He has.
That's why in United's, I think they're on their little bit of a downslide because they got hot the past month.
They're like real wavy.
And then when Rashford was scoring, they were hot, and then all of a sudden he's cooled off. And their defense, the two, I don't know if it's the amount of games, but Lindelof and Maguire look like out of sorts.
And now you got Ole beefing with Robin Van Persie.
It's like, come on, Van Persie, keep your name. He just wants his name back in the.
He's been gone for a little while now. He needs.
It's like, hey, remember me? Yeah, remember me?
I like what Ole
The
said.
Flying
though.
Dutchman.
He's like, he took my 20, and that's about all he's gonna take from me.
Heyo.
Yeah, that's pretty G of him. He's not afraid of Robin Van Persie.
I mean, who would be? Dean Henderson has 7.
That's
Nick
fantastic.
Pope from Burnley,
Yeah.
which again, Burnley's kind of in the lower half, and I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I mean,
Those are 2 young English keepers.
Without that, where would you be?
Burnley would definitely be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Leicester would be okay.
Leicester would
They'd be a
okay
mid-table
without
team
Casper,
without that, you know.
But even like Ben Foster has 6.
Yeah. Ben Foster's
He's like underrated the amount of games he's kept Watford in. In that Chelsea game, he should have scored.
yeah, he
Remember
almost had the
that?
game-tying header in the 4th minute.
And Kepa had to make that crazy ass save.
Yeah, he's the reason Watford's probably not even worse. Yeah, a lot of those draws were 0-0s. I mean, he was at least giving them a shot in those games. They just couldn't put the ball in the net.
Him and the guy from Crystal Palace, Guita,
Yeah.
have 6.
English goalkeeping's kind of on a high right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good young English goalkeepers. It's going to be competition when we get to Euros and World Cup again.
Yeah, we'll see this summer what the backups. I would assume. I mean, Pickford's got the number 1 pretty much.
Yeah, he's
in
kind
his
of
pocket.
That on lock.
But I mean, Dean Henderson's played pretty well,
Yeah,
and Nick Pope's not bad either. I don't know.
yeah. Somebody's going to get a. They'll usually carry
One of
3
those-
in those
yeah.
tournaments.
One of
so
those guys is getting a call up for sure.
no doubt.
And I don't know. I guess predictions wise, I mean, what would you say? Like maybe best newcomer or like a top 3? You could maybe argue as far as first half newcomers.
I wouldn't necessarily. can't call him a newcomer per se.
And it could be a team that's been promoted, not just a guy.
Are we going team or are we going player?
Player, but the player on the team that got recently promoted this year.
Got you.
Counts.
Could be a newcomer.
They might have been on the team, but
so there would be two that I'd have to go with if I had to right now kind of narrow it down. And really, actually, I hate three I'd have to go with. Two of them are on Leicester.
Yeah.
One would be Tielemans.
Okay.
Because he's not a newcomer. That was the one I was going to say. Per se, he's not a newcomer. But this is like what all the hype was around him as a Dutch wonder kid or a Belgian wonder kid. And
this was his first full season.
Right, and he
was on last year for a little bit.
He's really breaking out.
Right.
The other one would be Sancho.
I would say I have Sancho.
Yeah, like, come on.
On mine.
Little Turkish kid that came out of nowhere.
Trying to replace Harry Maguire, big shoes to fill.
And looks better.
Done awesome.
Looks
awesome.
better for a lot cheaper. And then, obviously, you'd have to say Tammy.
Yeah.
Like, I'd almost put Tammy number one, and he's a unique situation because his old team came up promoted, and he got to go back to Chelsea. Didn't really do much in the very beginning. Frank didn't really give him a chance right away. He was trying to, toy around with the big money guys like Giroud and all that. And then finally, once he gave him a chance.
And then this year, he almost had to.
Yeah.
With the transfer ban, he's like, well, what are my striking options? You got Giroud.
Yeah.
Not that great. Michy.
Yeah, we all know what Michy does. Yeah.
He looks about as confident as I would
Why
out there.
not throw the kid out there, and it's paid off.
And Tammy's looked pretty good. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think he would be outside mine probably, but I mean that's not a bad idea. I didn't even think about Tammy, honestly.
Well, he's easy to forget about because, I mean, technically this is his first year in the Prem. Like,
yeah,
but he kind of slips under the radar.
See, I definitely had Sancho.
Yeah. I
said even Pookie.
Yeah.
Maybe like an outside guy. Daniel James.
Daniel James has had a pretty good year.
For United.
He's kind of tapered off a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's had a good year so far.
El Ghazi. From Villa. And also Rodri.
Yeah.
As like maybe a guy that's like maybe not would win it when it comes to the end of the season, but I mean he doesn't do anything special, but he does all the right things. He has had to play center back this year for them, like because of the injuries.
And he's done a very good job with it. He's been all over the place.
Yeah. So that's kind of mine. I feel like right now I'd say Sancho.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because newcomer, it's like, what would the team be without those guys that we mentioned?
You could almost put him in the MVP race.
Yeah.
And not no one. There's people out there that know his name, but as a whole, like, you don't know his name. He's not a household name. I didn't know his name too much. I was like, when the season started, we're like, who's this kid that they're going to throw in for
I had no
Maguire?
idea who the hell that guy even was.
Yeah, just a young Turkish,
But he's been a stud, and
he's
filled in for Harry Maguire probably not better, but, I mean, he's played well. And Leicester, you can tell with the way that not just him playing, just the team as a whole.
He's even scored. He's got a couple goals on the year. Like he gets involved.
Absolutely.
He gets involved.
I guess coach of the year, we kind of already touched on it. Was it last show or the show before? I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those
We've talked about it the last couple shows just as we're getting later in the year. Who
Obviously,
could be in that
Brendan
running?
Rodgers, I would put probably slightly ahead.
Yeah, you got one, and I would say 1 and 1A.
I would say him, Chris Wilder would probably be my 1A, and then probably Klopp 3.
Yeah.
Or 2, I guess. Depends on where you want to go. But how could you not have Klopp for what he's doing with Liverpool?
Right.
And it's almost unfair to leave him out because of what he's doing, but at the same time,
that happens in sports all the time.
Yeah.
They always say, "Oh, if he's got the best players and he's got that," but it doesn't matter the way he's doing what he's doing.
I mean, he's getting the best.
You can't tell me every coach would
world-class lineup.
Yeah. And that's hard to do because you got
for sure.
You got a lot of personalities to deal with there.
It's just different. Depends on what you value, because Chris Wilder's doing it with no
Nothing.
household names.
Nothing. Well, yeah, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to belittle these guys and call them nothing because they've been phenomenal this year. But essentially what we would have thought preseason, like looking at that roster and stuff, it's amazing where they're at right now.
Yeah, and it's like, how could you not with what he's – and we talked about this. I mean, he had a full season last year to, know the guys, and, they finished second. And then Brendan Rodgers has nothing and, no time to really have that, and besides preseason.
Yeah.
And what he's doing with Leicester, it's pretty incredible.
It is. It is. It's going to be really tough, depending on how these last 17 games pan out. It's going to be really tough to make that decision if it stays kind of like this.
I think and I hate to say it, if Liverpool do not lose a game for the remainder of the season, it's tough not to give it to him.
Yeah, you have to.
To Klopp.
You have to. No matter what these other guys
Because that streak
did.
I think that would break the streak. I mean, I know the Arsenal Invincibles win a whole season without losing.
Yeah.
But this is dating back to
Right.
last year.
Right. We're going.
Not losing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they don't lose,
it's crazy
I
what
think
could have
you
been
have
if
to
they
give it to
didn't-
Jurgen Klopp.
They didn't have those two little hiccups last year and cost themselves at one point because they would have won the Champions League and this league and all these other things. Like, yeah, it's impressive. Like, they set a record and then they just happened to get beat.
Right.
Like, by a point, by a team that set the record a little bit,
Right.
Yeah,
it's but I mean,
he's phenomenal.
we'll see.
Yeah.
And I guess the last one, I mean, MVP. Who would you have maybe so far as a guy that if he was not on this team, would it impact? How badly would it affect them?
I mean, I hate to just take the easy way out and say Vardy, but 17 goals.
I definitely
There's a reason
I definitely
why.
have Jamie in the MVP. He would definitely be in it.
Yeah.
I have Van Dijk
Yeah, Van Dijk. Yeah.
because he's probably
He's
the
a
best
stud.
center back in the world right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but again, to me, it's like I would give it. You could even probably give it to. I had Mane in it for his 11 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah.
Obviously, Salah would be on the outside, maybe looking in.
It's hard to not, I guess, kind of
Even
look
De
at a
Bruyne,
Liverpool
I would have
guy.
too, maybe.
Yeah. You're going to really have to see how the season finishes up and if anything crazy happens. But I like the Van Dijk idea. I mean, Liverpool's definitely not what they are without him.
Yeah,
You can't take any other – there's not another center back in the Prem, let alone probably the world, that you could replace him with and they would be in the same position.
yeah. Like if you take him away from Liverpool, would they be the same?
No. They lose at least 2 games this year, at least. Because I've seen plays where he single-handedly basically blocked, prevented goals and did things to stop. So, yeah. Yeah, that's actually – I like that idea the more I think about it. Like, he's definitely got to be up there in the top 3 for league MVP, without a doubt.
I would say right now it'd probably be him and Vardy, probably
Yeah.
pretty close, and maybe
Yeah, because Leicester's still been really good. Like, even if you take a few of his goals away, they've still been good minus some of that.
right,
Like, I know some of his were in that 9-0 route.
right.
You know, he kind of picked up a couple there. But, yeah, they got to be top 2.
Right.
Mane's definitely in the mix.
I mean, I even said Alexander-Arnold would be maybe the way he's been playing. Not if you take him off the field that it would, they wouldn't be the same. But
yeah, like
if there's a top 10, he might be up for conversation.
Conte's got to be in the conversation a little bit. He's
Mhm.
been a big for you guys. for
Yeah, he's
Chelsea.
been good.
He's been big. I mean, yeah,
I mean, I think Tammy would definitely be.
more of a rookie of the year, newcomer of the year than an MVP.
Yeah,
Unless he goes on some torrid pace and gets
think you could get-
Chelsea in the top 3. And
see, that'd be different. I think if it would be like a super like raw like rookie, it'd be like Tamori or somebody that literally has never played like first-team football in the Prem.
Yeah.
And at least Tammy had a little bit of exposure last year. Not there was a Prem side, but
a top. Yeah.
For a championship team, for him scoring 27 goals, Tamori didn't even really do it. I don't even think he played much of anything. So I guess it depends on what you want to look at. But yeah, I think that's kind of like a little bit of a preview of what we got going on the first half of the season. Kind of a nice breakdown.
Yeah. It's been an awesome season to start this show off with and everything. Like, we couldn't ask for a more crazy back and forth type season.
Yeah.
So I looked up real quick to see we are 21 weeks through the season so far. So I went back last year to see what the standings were at this point. Liverpool was in first with 54 points. You had City in second with 50, Spurs in third with 48, Chelsea in fourth with 44, and then Arsenal was in fifth with 41. And then you go back to this year, and you go to this year where we are. I mean, Liverpool's got 58 points, and the only closest team is Leicester with 45.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how from year to year it flips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've just put everything they've had to make sure they're – like, that's got to be it. Like, that's their focus. If they get knocked out in the Champions League, I don't think they care one bit. Klopp is going to get this victory for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. I mean –
barring maybe Van Dijk going down with an injury, you know?
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know what it would take for them to, like, have a massive collapse.
Yeah, because then – dude, they have guys like
enough of a collapse where they just fall out 13 points.
If Van Dijk went down, per se, they would still be able to throw either Gomez,
they have Lovren,
Matip, Lovren. Like, they have – not that they're anywhere near Van Dijk.
No.
But it wouldn't be the end of the world.
It's like plug and play. I mean –
right. And who knows who they got sitting down in, you know, in an academy somewhere, some kid that they're just waiting on.
I saw they loaned this Ryan Brewster kid already this year to Swansea.
Yeah. Well, you got to – I mean, at some point you have to. Some of these guys just aren't going to get time. No matter how many cups and leagues you're playing, they're not going to get enough time in meaningful games.
Even like the Divock Origis of the world, he would start probably on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
And he can't even he doesn't get on the field much at all.
No, but then when he does, he just dominates.
Yeah.
Like, he just, every time he gets an opportunity, he does something.
But it's like impossible to take like Mane, Salah, and Firmino, they're, you know, top three off the field.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can't. And barring an injury, you can't do it. That's the only reason he got in last year was when Salah went out in Champions League, and he got his chance, and he absolutely shined. But once these guys are back healthy again, I mean, it's their show.
Yeah.
You're not benching Salah as good as Origi's been. You're not making that move.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I guess we could any hot topics around the world. I know it's a funny thing, the whole Zlatan thing.
Yeah. Good old Zlatan.
The people that don't know out there, Zlatan got a bronze statue outside his boyhood team in Sweden, Malmo. And then recently this year, Zlatan decided to purchase ownership stake in the rival club in Sweden, Hammarby.
Yeah.
And like anybody would be upset, the Malmo fans were a little upset. And they've tried to fuck with the statue on numerous occasions. They've had to put a barrier around the statue.
Yeah.
His nose got cut off 2 weeks ago. They tried to set fire to the statue.
Yeah, which is a genius idea.
And then
let's set fire to a bronze statue. That's going to be really effective.
And then I think 2 days ago, they finally got to it, and they finally cut it down by the ankles.
Yes.
So success for all the Malmo fans.
It's like that Simpsons episode where Bart cuts off the head of Jebediah Springfield.
Exactly. But I mean, that's stupid.
And then he made his debut with Milan the other day.
Yes.
Didn't really do anything. Came in late in 0-0 draw.
That's what he's going to do. Just
yeah,
come in as
he's going to come in.
and maybe hope to get a goal out of him.
Yeah, he'll
and
sneak
a yellow
few.
card or something.
He'll sneak a few away. And then he'll rip his shirt off and declare he's God. And
Well, Milan stinks, so.
yeah, they're in bad shape.
AC Milan stinks.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I guess, publicity. Fill some seats.
Yeah.
He fills seats. Don't blame people. I like watching him. It's entertaining.
Very entertaining.
If I had access to that game, I would have, as soon as I got because my phone went off that he was entering the game, where I was in Texas and they didn't have internet in the house, I couldn't stream it. So I didn't get to see his lackluster performance, but I would have logged in just because it's him. You never know what he's going to do. He's going to grab his balls at a supporter group after he scores.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a wild card.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, he's a great watch.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean.
We had more racism in the Prem.
Yeah.
Spurs game. And
then they came to be that there was no they couldn't find any evidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, nope, there's no evidence at all. Technical stuff.
You never know what's going to happen here.
Never.
At the A2D studio. Just had a
2 weeks gone, hiatus, and some, shit's happening.
Yeah. We'll get it taken care of. Speaking of which, doesn't it look beautiful?
Yeah.
I got to give these guys a lot of credit. It looks really awesome here.
Yeah.
More stuff's coming up as they continue.
Yeah.
There's a few more things going to be hung up here, and it's really come along and looks great.
Yeah, we'll find a nice jersey to hang up for ourselves.
Yeah, we'll bring a little something to throw up here. Yeah. Captain America, start bringing him back again.
Hells yeah.
He needs to start playing a little bit again.
Yeah, he's Pulisic is he picked up a knock. Apparently, he got hurt, but yeah, he's not really been in the headlines much.
No,
he's gotten the forgotten guy. I think the season's so far along that it's not like this bright, shining like oh, Pulisic, new boy.
Yeah, he's kind of
we're
settled in now. I mean,
we're already 21 games in. It's kind of not old news, but
yeah. We say half. I mean, it's half in weeks, basically,
yes.
Not in games. Just because how many they crammed into this last little part of the schedule,
right?
So we're a little past half as far as games go. But yeah, he's here to stay. He fits the Prem.
Yeah.
He proved that he can play at this level, clearly. So it's just going to continue to build, I think, for him now.
What was the other thing I saw? Oh, the whole J.J. Watt, his girlfriend, played for the Houston Dash in the NWSL, and she got traded to Chicago recently. And I think it was a Houston newspaper, the headline was J.J. Watt's girlfriend gets traded to Chicago. And J.J. Watt did not find that very nice.
Yeah.
He was like, her name is, I forget, I think it's Kalia Oanai or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was not very happy that they couldn't even mention her name. It had to be associated with him. Just
and that's bad. That's his hometown paper, too.
Yeah. Exactly. I was just like, ooh.
Maybe that's where he got that freaking beast mode the other day.
Yeah.
Like, coming off that injury, he was a monster. Maybe that motivated him.
I don't even know.
I was going to go to that game.
Really?
Yeah, it was only 3 hours away, and we talked about it. It was going to be the kids and me, my son, and their stepdad were thinking about going down there and checking it out. But it was just too hectic with the move and stuff to go in the middle. But tickets were like upper level, were like $60. And the way the game ended up, it actually would have been a pretty dope game to go to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But that's a shame, man, because that girl worked her butt off. She's a good player. So I guess they're like an Ertz combo, football, soccer stars.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I just thought, I was like, ooh, you need to get some love to the NWSL. And some of these players that get associated with And I don't think she's been on the U.S. team, or she hasn't obviously played a big role like Julie Ertz has. But
no. Yeah, not on that level.
Still get some recognition and not just be like,
not
this
JJ
is
Watt's
JJ Watt's girlfriend.
Yeah, especially in 2020.
It's like, hey, she has a name too.
Yeah, you might have got away with that in the 80s.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, what was the other one? I get Luka Modric apparently to DC United. I don't know if this is just
I don't know
silly
if this
season
is you know got to be careful with silly season. I sent it to you when I saw it just because.
I don't know if it's clickbait.
I don't know. There
There
seems to be maybe a small bit of validity there. He's not young.
No.
I mean, he's at the age where if you're going to make that jump to the MLS, you're going to make that jump.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
And, Paco Alcacer.
He's going to take a lot of pressure off those guys.
We need a big, physical guy who's going to score.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. $20 million, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we're going to sell him for $100.
You're going to make barring anything crazy happens, you're going to make so much money.
But that's the Dortmund way, though.
Yeah, it's genius.
It happens all the time.
And the fact that they were able to pull that off, and that's impressive. That just tells
people know that Dortmund's going to give young players a chance.
Yeah.
And they usually shine.
Yeah, and they're going to get you
Poole
paid.
sick.
They're going to get you paid, yeah. Aubameyang, you can go down the list. We could sit here for hours, I'm sure, and name all the guys that have gone through Dortmund. And
unfortunately, that's the structure, and they just.
But you'll always be competitive that way. You might not win titles that way, but you're always going to be competitive because you're always going to have good young players.
It's just when a big club comes knocking, it's like you can't say no.
Yeah, you can't. This might be like a 2-year thing, but it'll be well worth it.
I mean, I'm excited.
They're going to fill those pockets, and in the meantime, you're going to get some awesome play out of the kid.
Yeah, and we're just going to sell Jadon Sancho off and get, 100-some mil.
Yeah.
We'll just retool and get another young stud.
Yeah, he's been targeted. United's a big possibility
go back
for
to
him.
The Prem, maybe.
They said Ole's trying to add some English talent. He's been pressured to add some more English talent. And
right.
He could be it, but dude, don't be surprised if another team makes a sneak in there, like a Leicester or something that could just use a little even more.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But yeah.
Or I don't think you'll see anything from Arsenal. Pepe's finally starting to play.
He looks pretty good.
He is. He'll be fine. He's getting that first year growing pains of being a
it happens.
African footballer who's played in the French league, who's just kind of like all he was doing was moves.
Yeah.
In the beginning, but
it's
now
an adjustment.
He's starting to score.
It's an adjustment, but yeah. But yeah, so I guess
we're gonna run down this weekend coming up.
Finally we're back here.
Yeah, this is great. We got a Friday game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
My favorite is a nice Friday game.
I love a good Friday game.
But
it's even better than a Monday game.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose, I would like the Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, Friday, kicking us off here. 3:00, we got Sheffield hosting West Ham.
Sheffield opportunity to just keep this thing going and finish the season strong. This is now where they get that.
It should be a win.
It should, at home, and they've played well enough against teams of this caliber to continue on, I would say.
Yeah, and West Ham's kind of like,
Yeah, they've struggled.
So.
They've come back a little bit since those struggles, but nothing.
New manager, we forgot to say.
Yes, I guess that happened kind of.
Pellegrini got fired, and our good friend David Moyes takes over.
Who at one point was, we thought there was a good chance he was going to go to Everton, back to Everton. And they went with the Ancelotti pick instead. And now it seemed to be working again. They got a little bit of a manager bump.
Right.
I think West Ham was kind of stupid it was like, I don't know, I hate to put it in a certain way, but they overdid themselves. Like, they started to play good.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, we're coming up, we're an up-and-coming team. Now we need that big-name manager, and it didn't work. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Sometimes that more consistent, homey type guy that drives the players does better, and they've turned it around a little bit since he's been gone.
Yeah, I don't know. David Moyes just kind of is like meh to
Yeah,
me.
he's
a meh man.
he's another we talk about it all the
recycled
time.
boys.
Yeah, they just keep recycling these.
I'm surprised they didn't ask Big Sam to come out.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's why I was happy with the Arteta, because it wasn't a recycle. It was something fresh.
Yes.
So,
Good.
yeah.
But yeah, so Saturday, early game or breakfast game, 7:30. We got Palace hosting Arsenal. And I thought that we should pick this one.
We're going to
as
pick this one. We're going to pick this one. I'm back on the quote-unquote bandwagon, I guess, with my Gunners. I said once they kind of made the move and they brought a real coach in, I would give them a second chance this season. So they finally did something after the little Lumberg interim experiment didn't go so well. And so far, so good. I guess.
I mean, one game, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the FA Cup 2 game.
Two.
Again, they didn't play anybody too much. 2 games. They're better. I mean, they're just a better team than
We'll
Palace
see.
on paper. They are a better team than Palace on paper. And if he's going to get the best out of the players, I'm going to go that their birth, they looked happy to play. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal on the road at Palace.
Wow.
Get some goal scoring. Aubameyang gets back going again. Maybe Pepe gets another one.
I think I'm going to pull my draw card and go 1-1. I haven't seen enough from Arsenal to put 3 on the board.
I'm going for it.
Actually, before we move on, I kind of wanted to pick the Sheffield game too, because there's not too many other games that are
Pick
noteworthy.
worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I was gonna go 2-1 Sheffield at home. I think that's pretty safe.
I'll go 1-0 Sheffield at home.
Right on.
They have a lot of 1-0 home
They do.
victories.
Then we got our 10 o'clockers. Chelsea hosts Burnley.
You got to win that game.
This is a game to kind of bounce back.
I shouldn't say that because last time I said that to you, they lost to West Ham 1-0.
True.
So you don't have to win that game, but you should win that game.
Should win. There's been, got a little bit of a rest, got a week's rest, recharge the batteries, And you really do need to win because Chelsea have been struggling big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Like, even scoring has been coming at a premium. So, I mean, where do you look? I mean, you need a Tammy to get something going here.
It would be nice
Mason
to see
Mount.
him.
We need the young boys that have kind of, in the start of the season, were kind of carrying the team. You kind of need that back.
If he wants to stay in that golden boot race, now's the time to get going again.
I guess
Definitely.
a Burnley side that can let up 3 or 4, or
Oh, yeah.
they can be great.
Yeah, yeah. They're more of what we always said, Bournemouth being Bournemouth. They're
Mhm.
more of that team this year. Burnley being Burnley. They've had the highs of the highs and then lows and everything in between. So
Yeah,
we're staying away from that one.
not touching it. We got Everton hosting Brighton as a kind of an intriguing game here
Yeah.
with new manager Carlo Ancelotti taking over against a Brighton team who's actually been pretty competitive.
They have been. They've been a competitive team this year. I guess they've been better under him for the most part.
Yeah,
They haven't looked great, but they've looked better.
they've looked better. Nothing to write home about, I would say, for Everton. I wouldn't think whoa, they're like a totally different squad, but
No.
I mean, a little bit they've changed up tactically and, actually putting – I mean, Calvert-Lewin's been great
Yes.
under Ancelotti.
Yeah. He
But-
woke him up a little bit. He's putting Richarlison in the right spots, which is – I'll give him credit for that.
Good job. That's
So,
all
yeah.
Marco needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thrilled with that coaching signing just because – and it's nothing against Ancelotti. It was the fact that Dunk was doing a good job.
Yeah, and he's still his right-hand man.
Yeah. They kept him
Still there on
They
the
kept him
bench.
in there, which was great. I was happy to see that.
At least give him some love, and I think that was nice.
Yeah. Well, he's got that. He's got the fan love. You probably would have been really screwed up if you just let him.
It's like, all right, thanks for those couple games.
Yeah, like he's out there hugging ball boys and shit. Like you gotta leave him out there.
A true Evertonian.
Oh yeah, dude, he was pumped to win those games for that team. He got them back going again.
Hell yeah.
He definitely got them back alive because they were literally like a point out of being in relegation zone within less than a month ago.
I mean, I could see a nice draw out of this, though.
Yeah, that has that kind of game written all over it. 1-1, 2-1, maybe somebody grabs a late one or something there. But yeah.
So next one we got Leicester hosting Southampton. The Foxes at home against a Southampton team who's been kind of competitive.
They've been competitive. They've definitely been competitive.
Danny Ings, our boy, kind of taking his team on the back here.
Leicester's had a tough part of their schedule recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be looking for an opportunity to get 3 points back again and try and draw a little closer. I don't think you're going to. Liverpool probably just keep winning, too.
I think the only chance Vardy has picked up a knock, whether he plays this weekend or not, I'm not sure.
Right. I guess we got to see tomorrow what the roster looks like for the Carabao Cup.
But, I mean, they should beat Southampton at home.
They should beat Southampton at home with or without Vardy.
Right.
So.
And then another 10 o'clocker Saturday got Man United versus Norwich.
Yeah.
I mean, even United's been, this roller coaster of a ride that we said. I mean, again, they should beat Norwich at home.
They should absolutely beat Norwich.
A Norwich team that, maybe they get a Pookie goal, maybe not, but
yeah,
I think this could be like a 2-0. Maybe get Rashford back going again at home. Obviously Ole's been, under the microscope, and he always will be.
Yeah.
Just having that job, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's a job you're just guaranteed to be under the microscope.
But, I mean,
I don't see them. I don't know. It would be big if they lost to Norwich. Norwich is bottom team now to Watford. They're 5 points less than Watford.
Right.
Like,
it doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah, like as bad as Watford's been, even though obviously they've been good recently. They're in trouble, and I think United probably just rolls that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the last 10 o'clocker, we got Wolves versus
The new news.
Newcastle.
The Magpies.
The Magpies on the road.
We're gonna pick that
Wolves.
one. Or are we gonna save it?
Yeah, we could do that one.
We don't have to. I thought that might be a decent one. Obviously, the next one we have to pick, and then it's just really up to you if you want to do one of the Sundays or that one. I'll leave it up.
The Sunday games aren't really much of anything.
I was gonna say, so let's do that one then.
Wolves.
Yeah, that should, because it should be pretty competitive.
Yeah, Bournemouth's been pretty good so far. Almiron scored again in the
Newcastle
FA Cup.
You said Bournemouth.
Oh,
Bournemouth has not been good.
Bournemouth hasn't been good.
Yeah.
Newcastle, yes.
Yeah, Almiron has 2 goals now. 1 Prem and 1. That could be it.
He just need to see the ball go in the back of the net.
Dude, sometimes that's
Confidence
all
boost.
it takes for these goal scorers.
Confidence booster.
You get 1, and then boom, boom, boom. They start coming in clips.
What do you think?
Wolves at home, though. I'm pulling my draw card.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what score.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put 4 goals into this game?
I don't even know about that.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Yep.
I'm going to go 1-1.
I think I'm going to go 1-0. I think a nice shutout for Rui Patricio.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Newcastle struggles to score on the road. Definitely.
And then finally our marquee game, 12:30. We got Spurs hosting Liverpool.
This is big.
Yeah, big for Spurs.
Spurs have been in a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to say disarray, but somewhat a disarray. I mean, they started off super hot under Mourinho.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, man, they're climbing. Chelsea's in trouble. Here they come. They're going to grab 4th like
like
that.
not so much.
Yeah. And then they get
And
flat.
Harry Kane's hurt.
Yeah.
And then I saw Sissoko's out now. He just had surgery.
I think Liverpool spanks that ass.
Spanking that ass.
Liverpool shows them who daddy is. Definitely.
I'd probably say like 3-1 Liverpool.
That's your.
Yeah. if they even get one. But I'll go 3-1.
Spurs find a way to score usually.
Maybe a sunny one. If he doesn't kick anybody.
Yeah. Man, that's going to make it tough because we try to make this diverse. Like if I was betting money, I would probably stay somewhere along the lines of you, but the way you and I go, we try to keep a little bit of a split there to be competitive in this. It's almost like, do I take a goal away from Liverpool? Do I add a goal and get nutty and just have them trounce them? Maybe I just take the Spurs goal away, but they score. Let's just 2-1 Liverpool just because it's a road game. They've had a few games like that where maybe they didn't look in it, and then this could be even a game where the Spurs score early. They're up 1-0. And
even Sheffield, they dominated the whole game, but they only got 2.
Yeah.
They haven't been, blowing the doors off too many people recently.
Maybe 2 late Liverpool goals, just bang, bang, and to kind of just end it. So, 2-1.
Right on. I guess speaking of the talking about Spurs, Ralphie, what's the final on our polls?
Bring them up right now for you.
Cool. Before we get into these.
I mean, hey, Watford.
Dude, Watford's.
Bournemouth, Watford.
I hate to say it. Bournemouth's in trouble with this game. Bournemouth is in big trouble
Bournemouth
with this
loses
game.
this.
And they could.
It's bad.
They could.
So the Facebook poll what Tottenham will be successful without Harry Kane. 83% say agree, 17% say disagree.
Okay. So they think they can continue to carry on without him. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been since Mourinho's come in there. He hasn't been the reason they were winning.
Yeah, Delhi was.
Sonny was. I mean, those were the big 2. Lucas Moura
has been good.
Yeah, so I mean, they might be able to continue rolling on.
Yeah.
Without him, they're a faster team without him, and I know that's kind of Mourinho. He likes to get up and get going. So
I think they'll be. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're cracking top 4 though.
No,
I don't think they're gonna.
I almost think the top. I don't want to say anything crazy, but
yeah,
we'll see.
They should get top 6. I think they'll stay in the top 6.
Yeah, nice Europa League for Spurs.
Yeah, hey, great. It's like, not seeing them in the Champions League is cool with me.
But yeah, Sunday at 9, we got 2 games. We got Bournemouth hosting Watford. I mean, I think Watford can actually win.
Yeah, Watford can win.
Who's worse?
Yeah, Bournemouth has to find a way to score goals.
And they have not.
And they have not. Foster's been good, like we talked about earlier, so that's not going to help them. They're at home. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to come from, how they're going to do it. But if they don't do something soon, they're in serious trouble. Like
this is a big time. Look yourself in the mirror. Can Eddie Howe? If Eddie Howe can't get him up for this game, I think they might have to move on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then they're going to have to start fielding offers too going into the transfer deadline because people are going to be interested in King. You know, somebody's going to want a veteran scorer like Callum Wilson, even though he's hit a cold streak. They could just blame it on the team and the talent around him. I don't think it's necessarily just him. He's a good player. So then it's like now we're losing and we're going to sell off our only chance and our only hope of scoring. It's like, do we just keep, like, I don't know. This kid Solanke just hasn't done anything. He comes over from Liverpool and just has not looked good.
It's rough.
Yeah. Harry Wilson's going to go back at some point, probably to Liverpool or somewhere else. I don't think Bournemouth's going to purchase that contract.
I just think Watford's too hot right now.
Dude,
and you never thought I would say that.
Dude.
You never thought I would say it, yeah.
I don't think those words would have ever thought to have been spoken this year.
But,
yeah. They are hot.
So 11:30, we got
one last game.
Villa hosting City.
Yeah, that's just –
that seems
we're
a 3-0 City beatdown.
Yeah.
I don't think Villa's got anything.
Villa's another one, unfortunately. I think 2 of these 3 teams that came up that were –
their big transfers have not panned out so much. Wesley and the Trezeguets and
and losing Tammy, they haven't recovered from that, and
Yeah.
they're going to be in trouble of relegation too.
gonna be a
Them and
fight.
Norwich,
Mhm.
it's going to be a fight to stay up. You just got to hope you don't lose like 5-6 goals here and just
goal
kill your goal
Yeah.
differential. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, red card, yellow card. I said Jess Lingard for my yellow.
Okay.
I think he does more social media and Snapchatting than playing on the field. I don't think he has a goal or an assist this year.
Yeah.
After talking a lot of shit, so
He sucks.
he got it. He got Raiola, his agent now,
Yeah.
the big guy, and red card to VAR.
Yeah.
VAR has been an issue, and they haven't solved any
It's
VAR.
too inconsistent. It shouldn't be.
Your
but-
pinky is off.
Yeah. Your armpit
Your armpit
hair
is off.
Yeah. I guess my yellow goes to Bournemouth after just talking about them. You can't, you got to find a way to get a point here at home. At least a point. You got to get something. And I don't even know where I would go with my red right now. I guess I'm going to give my red to Sonny because he just keeps chalking up the red cards.
Yeah.
He's being a douche, bro. He can't do this shit.
Wires crossed.
Yeah, you gotta
Wires
keep
are
keep your
crossing.
wires in order, Sonny. We love you on this show. We talk about you all the time, even though you're a Spur. Got mad love for the Koreans, and yeah, get your shit together, bro. For real, just get it together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, hey, that's been a hell of a show here.
Yeah, welcome back. Sorry,
It
I'm a little
feels good.
lackadaisical today, man. I've literally been up since 4 a.m. flying cross country.
He's been beasting it, and
made it here
he made it back for the show, which of course
because we give
always
the people
appreciate.
what they want.
Of course.
I had to
course.
sneak it in there.
But yeah, we'll be
Glad to be back.
We'll be back again next Tuesday for another wonderful Kickin' It Stateside episode,
And we got a Saturday show coming up this month too,
at some point.
possibly more. So we stay tuned.
But
Thank
we'll
you.
see you guys next week. Thanks.
Yes, sir.